Mike, you can't escape the Crosby versus McDavid debate. At the end of the season, how will you assess it? Who will come out on top and why?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be goals. I don't think it's going to be points. I think really what it's going to come down to is team play and which team goes the further. Last year, McDavid wins the Art Ross. He wins the Hart, 100-point season, and yet at the end of the year, it's Crosby hoisting the Stanley Cup once again. And I think that's the way that you're going to have to measure these two players, because really individually, they're both fantastic, obviously the best players in the league. And yet, like Ovechkin with Crosby, how do we measure who's the better player in that debate? Well, it's the guy with the Stanley Cup rings, and it's the guy that has the individual success. So I put team success over individual success, and I think that's how you're going to probably measure these guys.
Well, it's a good measuring stick because you look at the Penguins and the Oilers, they both have the horses to compete for a Stanley Cup. It's a matter of the supporting cast really working out and these generational stars playing to their potential. And they're sort of working in two different levels, though, because the Penguins with their sustained success versus the Oilers, who are the up-and-comers that will face a couple of battles along the way before they really get there.
No, I agree. And you know what? Until McDavid wins that Stanley Cup, I think there's going to be question marks. And I'm not saying there's question marks right now because he's so early in his career arc, but that's really what it comes down to. I remember it wasn't that long ago we were thinking Jonathan Toews is the better player because aside from Crosby, and Toews never finished ahead of Crosby in goals and points. It was
wins.
It was wins. This guy was winning Stanley Cup after Stanley Cup, and Crosby had only had one Stanley Cup at that time. So it's funny how we kind of view it. And hockey's a team game, let's be honest. As good as you are individually, and Alex Ovechkin has won a ton of Rocket Richard trophies, and maybe Connor McDavid's going to win another Art Ross trophy this year, but until you win a championship, it's kind of hard to say you're the better player.
Yeah, it's all about the rings. It's all about the cups. For Michael Tracos and Post Media, I'm John Mattis.